everybody. Welcome to 2 Minutes and Beyond, the podcast where we review the Toy Story movies 2 minutes at a time. I'm Macy, and this is Bianca.
Howdy.
Howdy. We're actually doing something different today. We're not talking about Toy Story. Well, we are talking about Toy Story, but not the movie. This is the first of what we're going to call the Toy Box, where we talk about and review things related to Toy Story that are not the movies.
Yay!
And today we're using it as an excuse to talk about our trip to Disney World.
Because who wouldn't do that?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, our trip in general, but we'll be talking about the Toy Story things that they have at Disney World.
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
It was fun. How do we want to start this?
So I think we should start with where we started.
Should we start with how this trip even came to be?
Sure.
I guess I will say, first of all, I was a little worried about people, not really caring about or wanting to hear about our trip, but this is our podcast and we can do what we want.
Yeah, we do whatever we want. You just have to listen to us.
Or you don't have to. You can skip this episode. It's okay.
I know, but we're fun.
We are fun. I guess, should we talk about how this trip came to be?
Sure.
Well, I guess to start off, I had been planning to go to Disney World with my mom as a graduation present. I was going to pay my own way, and she was just going to go with me for my college graduation. And so I graduated from college in May of 2020.
It's like the most
so that didn't work
time
out.
to graduate.
Yeah. So that didn't happen. And so you had been planning a trip to a different Disney World.
Yes, I was originally planning to go for my 30th birthday to Disneyland in Tokyo, Japan. That was all, coming along swimmingly. And then COVID happened, so all of that just went down the drain. So I thought to myself, well, then I'll just go to Disney World in Florida. And then COVID still happened. So I was like, maybe I won't go at all. So, yeah, I had to wait a little bit before planning again to where, it wasn't as bad. And, at one point in time, Disney World did shut down. All of the Disney Worlds shut down. So once they started opening again and started letting more people come back in, that's when I was like, okay, maybe I can plan this.
Mm-hmm. So we went with your coworker, Nora, and
my God, I love Nora to death.
and her adult son,
RJ.
Yes. I was thinking, I was like, is it Robert or
It's Robert.
I was like,
yeah.
I spent like 5 days with this man and I'm not sure what he goes by. I'm so sorry.
You're like, Nora's son.
If you're listening. If you're listening, RJ, I'm really sorry. But did she invite you on their trip first, or what happened there? I don't remember.
So fun story. I invited myself. She was telling me how she and her son RJ were planning their trip together, and it was supposed to be just a mother-son trip, and they were going to have fun. And then here I come. I'm like, well, I didn't get to go to Disney. Let me go to Disney with you. So she's like, okay, sure. Let me just ask my son. And when he was okay with it, I was like, well, let me tell you, I want to invite my friend. So I just invited the both of us.
Yeah, so you came to me and you were like, hey, do you want to go to Disney World with me and my coworker and her son? And I was like, yes, please. And it just so happened that I have a cousin who is a Disney travel agent. Shout out to Sheena Edge and the lady she works with, Amy Woody. They were super helpful with planning this trip.
They did an amazing job.
Yes,
Honestly, they really did.
they made things a lot easier.
They really did, because I had no idea how to go about, like, getting the tickets with the package that they got us, and then the rooms and the flight and everything. They planned everything. It was so great.
Yeah. And we still had the flexibility to do things, like change things and do things how we wanted if we wanted to. So,
Right. That was so nice.
yeah. Um and it was especially nice because I don't think well, Nora and RJ had been to Disneyland, right?
Yes, they've been to Disneyland before, but never World.
Yeah, and then the two of us have not been to any Disney parks.
Right.
So none of us knew what we were doing.
We were all getting lost together.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was especially exciting because we have known each other since like 2010,
Mhm.
but we had never met in person before.
Right. That was really neat. So, I didn't know how you were gonna feel about that, because I just kinda threw it at you like, "Hey, come to Disney."
So should we talk about Hollywood Studios, our first day?
Yes, so that was a lot of fun. The only thing I really didn't like at first was how humid and how muggy it was in the morning.
Mhm.
When we got there, we waited for about an hour in line before they opened. And I mean, I'm used to the humidity because I live in a coastal town, but just going from a coastal town to another coastal, like tropical region, I was like, this is not what I wanted. It's December.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad, pretty gross.
but I think we talked about in one of our episodes how I had seen these t-shirts, a set that was like one that said one shirt had a buzz design and said, "This is no time to panic." And the other one was Woody and it said, "This is the perfect time to panic."
That would have been the best shirt to get.
And I wasn't able to find those shirts, unfortunately, but I did get us a couple of shirts that mine was Buzz and it says to infinity, and then yours was Woody and it said and beyond.
Yeah, those are great shirts. I liked those.
The first thing we did at Hollywood Studios was actually Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad,
That
the
was a
new
lot of
ride.
fun. That was really cute. I really liked that ride. I was not expecting it, also because I was going into everything blindly, the way I go about everything in life. I go about everything blindly. So
Yeah, I think we were in the first car, like right behind the train.
Mhm.
So we were like right in front of Goofy.
Yeah, so we got to see, like, the whole thing up front. I'm like, "I'm sorry, people behind me, that I'm wearing a big ol', um, donut headband."
So after that, we did,
I think we went
we
to Toy Story
went,
Land right after that.
yeah, and we did Slinky Dog Dash.
That was fun. We waited a long time for
We
that
waited
one.
an hour or so.
I wanna say maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because that one winded way more than I thought it was gonna wind.
Mhm. But it was neat because we had time to look at, like, all of the details and all the, like, little references they
Oh,
put
yeah, that was a lot of
everywhere.
fun. I liked the ceiling of the ride area where it looked like the box and, like, the instructions in the box. That was super cute.
Yeah, and it had, like, Slinky's box, and it had illustrations of, like, the other Slinky toys.
Mhm. I know, I did not know that there was a Slinky Frog.
Yeah, I think when I did research on Slinky for this podcast, I remember hearing about the train. That was one of the ones pictured, but I don't remember anything about the frog.
Mhm. I kinda want a Slinky Frog now.
And on the back of the sign, well, the sign that has like the wait time for the ride on it is like a dog collar, and on the back it says Buster, and then it has Andy's address. Was it
Mhm.
123 Elm?
Something like that, or like 234, something that's very, like, simple to remember.
Yeah, 230. I think it's 234. Which is revealed in Toy Story 3.
Mhm. I think that they did a really good job, putting all that detail in there. I really liked all of the, like, even like the little things that they did in Toy Story Land where they had like the signs and everything were paper. It looked like it was like tacked on to like pencils and stuff. That was super
Like Andy
cute.
had made it.
Like Andy had made it. That was really cute. And then all along the area, even though it was during Christmas, it's not necessarily for Christmas, but they had all the Christmas lights everywhere.
Mhm.
That one was super cute.
I love
What
seeing
else did they have?
Andy's drawings everywhere.
Yes, I liked seeing Andy's drawings. I liked the huge statues, especially like as soon as you go in to Toy Story Land, you see Giant Woody. He's talking.
I call him
Um,
Jim Hanks.
Jim Hanks was talking. Yes. And then, of course, like the giant Jessie and the Rex, every once in a while they would say something too. That was a lot of fun.
The Rex one was kind of weird because it's like a forced perspective thing
Mm-hmm.
where um, he's made to look smaller, like he's kind of far away. But if you look at it at the right angle, it just looks like
Like a tiny
he's
Rex.
smaller than Jesse. It doesn't look right.
Yeah, for when you're walking in, it looks like what it's supposed to look like. But then when you
Yeah.
look at it, like while you're waiting for the ride, you're like, oh, I see what's going on here.
Yeah. And the music that they had playing through the land, it was
That
like,
was fun.
mhm,
I
all
did
Toy
like that.
Story music. It was really hard for me, like, while we were waiting for Slinky Dog to not just be constantly either singing or humming along to the
Hmm.
music, to the songs. They even had some relative deep cuts, like the To Infinity and Beyond song from Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did have that. I want to say, how many times did it loop over while we were waiting? I
A
want to
lot.
say they had like maybe 8 different songs, and then it would loop over again.
Yeah, and some of them were just, like, pieces of the score
Yeah. It wasn't even the
from
full thing, it was just, like, a little snippet of it.
yeah, and it was all, like, new original arrangements of all the songs too, so
Mhm. It was still fun, though, I enjoyed it. It wasn't too monotonous, maybe because I'm very biased towards Toy Story,
mhm.
but that was not that bad.
I felt like the people there was, like, an older couple behind us in line, and they must have seen us with, like, all of our Toy Story stuff on in Toy Story Land, like, humming along and, like, talking about the music and all the details all around and be like, "These girls are crazy."
They probably were like, "We've been coming here for the past 20 years," and they're like, "Why are you so excited?" But I'm like, we've never been here, so let us enjoy this."
Should we talk about Spanish Slinky?
Oh, that was great. That was so fantastic.
So
So, go ahead.
so before the Slinky Dog ride, Slinky Dog Dash, Slinky does all of, like, the safety instructions, like, keep your hands and arms and whatever inside the vehicle, but then he also did the Spanish version,
That
which
was
kind of threw us off because we had just been on the Mickey and Minnie ride where Goofy does the instructions, and then for the Spanish part, it was, like, a random lady,
Mhm.
and so when we heard Slinky speaking Spanish, we just looked at each other and just started laughing. In fact, I took a voice recording of it on my phone so that I could play it on the podcast. I guess I'll put that in here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to because everybody needs to hear Spanish Slinky. I honestly thought they would have put Spanish Buzz,
That would
but
have made
they would
sense.
have made more sense. But hearing a very hick translation into Spanish was absolutely fantastic,
It
and I didn't know I needed it in my life.
it was like, "Bienvenidos."
He was like, you could tell the voice actor was trying his hardest. And you know what? I give him props to that because I'm sure that he was struggling, beads of sweat coming down his face.
You're safe. Remember to stay seated with all your parts and pieces, legs, arms, feet, legs, springs, and all inside the vehicle. And keep an eye on your little toys. Bienvenidos a Slinky Dog Day. Por favor, permanezcan sentados con las manos, brazos,
Rows 8 and 9. I love your mask.
dentro del vehículo.
Yeah, rows 8 and 9.
Slinky Dog Dash, I think, ended up being one of my favorite rides. It was more intense than I expected, but I think part of that was because we were, like, in the very back, like, we were right in front of Slinky's butt.
Yeah. I think usually for most roller coasters, the back is the craziest because it's, you're just whipping around everywhere in the back. So that was pretty fun. I liked the craziness of it.
Mhm. And the part where he, like, stops for a second before,
Oh, and then it
like,
goes
the
fast
second big
again.
hill, and he counts down, and he's like, 1, 2, 3,
He's like, here we go.
here we go. We
He's
heard that a
so
lot while
cute.
we were waiting in
Yes.
line too.
I was like, where
Every
are we
couple
going,
minutes.
Slinky? Yes. I would say about 3 to 5 minutes, we'd hear him say that.
It was that, and then whatever he says at the beginning of the ride.
Yeah. No, we
I
heard
can't
that a
remember
lot.
what it was.
That was fun, though. That was really cute. I really enjoyed that ride. I also very much enjoyed the Toy Story Mania. That was a lot of fun.
Mhm. We didn't do that until the end of the day, though,
Hmm.
because by then the line for it was already really long,
Yeah, it
and
was like what, a 70-minute wait during the
yeah.
day, and then it went down to like 40 minutes. We're like, oh yeah, we'll go and do that.
Yeah. So, what did we end up doing next?
After the Toy Story Land, oh, that's when we started going towards the Tower of Terror because
Oh,
Nora and
that's right.
RJ wanted to do that. I absolutely cannot do rides like that. I can't
Yeah, me
drop
neither.
vertically like that. No, that's a huge no from me.
Yeah, so RJ and Nora did that, and we went to, the Walt Disney, was it called One Man's Dream?
Think so. That was actually very interesting. So it was a Walt Disney Museum with a 16-minute movie. That was a lot
Mhm.
of fun. That was, it sounds kind of boring because you're like, oh, you're just in a museum and you're just watching a boring video, but it was actually really informative and it was a very nice video. It was not really what I was expecting. And we got to sit in the air conditioner, so that was great.
Yeah, especially after standing in line for Slinky Dog for an hour.
Yes, and lovely Florida is always around 90 degrees. So that's about 30 degrees Celsius for everybody that's listening that's not in America.
And then we went toward Star Wars Land.
That was really cool. I really liked it. I'm glad I didn't get on any of the rides because I do get motion sick very fast.
Yeah.
But it was very
But
nice even
before
to
we went
just
to
look at everything.
Star Wars Land, we did, Star Tours, but that was another one you couldn't do.
Oh yeah. No, I couldn't do a lot of stuff. Dang.
I know I was sad. I was really sad for you, and I felt bad about leaving you by yourself.
No, it's okay. That wasn't that bad. I was enjoying watching all the kids like with their little ears and they were running around all happy. And then Chewbacca came out again while y'all were in I don't remember what ride y'all went in, but Chewbacca was walking around and like kids were like swarming around him all excited. I was like, "Oh, how cute."
Um, yeah, we did Star Tours, and that was fun. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I really enjoyed all that stuff. the way it works is you're like watching a big 3D screen and sitting in like these seats that kind of move like back and forth and forward. I'm sorry to all the Disney parks nerds who are out there listening to us talk about this, and you're like, no, that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't know as much about how it all works or about the parks in general. But anyway, in the seats that you sit in, Nora's feet were like not touching the ground. Even my toes were barely touching the ground, and
Oh
that
my
made
gosh.
it more fun.
During that time is when I walked over to the Muppet Vision area, and I was just walking around the little area. For some reason,
we
all the
skipped Muppet
places,
Vision.
yeah, all the places there were closed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like intentional or they just, are renovating. I'm not sure, but everything was closed. So I just sat by the fountain, just people watch. That was nice.
Yeah, we before we went to Star Wars Land, we did Muppet Vision, and of course I'm a big Muppet nerd, so I had to do that. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. That was one of the last things, if not the last thing, that Jim Henson made before he passed away.
Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. I liked the little show that they did. That was pretty fun. I also like that they incorporated the puppets in the theater area. That was fun too.
Yeah, the Statler and Waldorf animatronics.
Yes.
And then at the end, one of them says, "Can we get up to go to the bathroom or something?" And the other one says, "We can't. We're bolted to the chair."
That was pretty great.
Oh, one of my other favorite lines was in the little pre-show video before you go into the actual theater, when Sam the Eagle says, "Will you stop this foolishness?" And then Gonzo says, "What kind of foolishness would you like to see?"
I love
And Rizzo
Gonzo.
coming out dressed up as Mickey Mouse. That was fun.
Oh, that was great. That was funny.
We didn't get to do Rise of the Resistance because the line was insanely long.
Even at the end of the day, it was still, I want to say, about 80 minutes.
Yeah. We did do Millennium Falcon, and that was fun. You get assigned different roles on the ride. So, like, I was the left pilot, and RJ was the right pilot, and I think Nora was like a gunner or engineer or something.
Okay.
And I've heard that like how good of an experience you have on that ride can depend on what role you end up getting and like who you're with and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
I thought it was fun. Like I was left pilot, so I was controlling, I think, moving left and right.
That's fun. That's
I
really
enjoyed
cool.
it.
That's good. I enjoyed people watching. I enjoyed seeing everybody struggling to find their stroller because they have that little stroller area. And the parents, of course, take their kids off and they go in and then they come back. They're like, "Where's our stroller?" And they're like freaking out. I'm like, "It's that one right there." I'm like, "Why am I not getting paid to do this?"
Should we talk about Toy Story Mania?
Yes, because that was like one of the last things we did. Like we said earlier,
I think it was the last thing.
It was the last thing. So amazingly enough, the Star Wars area feeds into the Toy Story area. So when we were walking, we just landed back in Toy Story. We're like, oh, perfect. So
yeah,
that was really convenient for us because we did want to do the Toy Story Mania. And
we're like, we have to do that.
Yes, we had to. So going back, we got in line. It didn't take that long. It was about a 40-minute wait. It wasn't too terribly long. And it's my favorite part was the giant Mr. Potato Head animatronic was not talking,
he
doing
wasn't
anything.
Working. We were in that room where he is for like 20 minutes, something like that.
And as soon as we left, that's when he started talking.
Yeah, like a minute or two, like after we had made it around the corner into the next room, I all of a sudden hear him talking, and I'm like, what the heck?
He waited for us to get out of that line because it wasn't even as soon as we got into that other room. That's when he started talking. We're like, dang it, Miss Potato Head, just like you.
I know. I mean, all he was doing was like he was blinking and his eyebrows would move a little bit.
Yeah, and he was kind of like trying to move, but he didn't. So we were like, okay, he's down.
And, like, I guess I mean, he doesn't talk all the time, but, like, we were in there long enough
For
that we
him
should
to
have
like
heard him talk.
cycle through something.
I know, I was so sad, but then once you get into, like, the second half of the line and you're in, like, what looks like Andy's room,
That was
that
fun.
was really cool.
That was really cool because the door is huge when you walk in and you see the windows up on top. You
You see the
see,
cloud wallpaper.
yes, you see the giant plug that everybody was making fun of me because they're like, oh, look, you can charge your phone, Bianca.
Because your phone was dying all
My
day.
phone all day was at like 40% and it was still dying. We went and sat at a restaurant. We ate, charged my phone for about a good 40 minutes and it was fine. And then as soon as we get, through the rest of the day, it's dying again. So
Yeah. And then the actual ride was really, really fun.
that was a lot of fun. I liked that ride, even though I'm not a huge fan of 3D stuff. That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was fun, like, when you get, your ride vehicle kind of whips in and out of scenes and, like, you turn around
Yeah,
and
that was a lot of fun because it's kind of like a ride, but then you're like, oh, I'm also interacting with it and like
yeah, you
doing the
shoot
shoot
at
thingy.
targets.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I think it was the most fun because I got the most points. So
Yeah, you beat me. I can't remember the
that,
exact scores, but you beat me.
yeah. And then Nora and RJ were mad at me too. They're like, you only like that ride because you won.
And then I liked as you're leaving the ride, there was like a picture on the wall
Oh, the
of
picture. Yes.
Zurg like holding up a target and saying, "Why did I agree to hold up this target?"
Buzz is shooting him.
Yeah,
That was
that was
right
pretty funny.
before the gift shop, I want to say, which I really liked that gift shop as tiny as it was. I thought it was super cute.
Hmm. There was also like a drawing of Andy's that was supposed to be by Andy of Buzz and Woody in Buzz's spaceship, and it looks like they're like
Blasting
about to
off.
crash, I guess, and Woody just looks so concerned.
Woody looks like he's like, this is it. This is how I die. And Buzz is just smiling.
Buzz is like, "I got this."
Oh my gosh, that was great. That was a fun little day that we had in Hollywood Studios.
So the next day
Yes, was Magic Kingdom, and I felt so magical in my giant bow.
was the first thing we did that day was the first thing
Space
we did that
Mountain.
day Space Mountain? Yeah.
Yes. That was so much fun. And I'm glad we did it the first thing in the morning because I would have died if we had if we had done it any later, I would have actually just keeled over and died in that ride.
I was nervous about getting on it because I'm not a huge roller coaster person. Like, I don't mind them if they just go, like, fast and kind of high or whatever. As long as they don't go, like, upside down or side to side or anything crazy like that.
Right, right.
And I really loved it. I mean, I kept feeling like I was gonna hit my head on things,
Me
even
too.
though
I
I
was
knew
like,
I
I'm gonna
wasn't
die.
going to, and also kept feeling like even though I knew I wasn't going to, I was gonna fall out of the seat.
Those seats were a little cramped even for me. I'm a relatively small human, but
Yeah, I had
I
difficulty getting in there because of my long legs.
I'm surprised RJ got in there because RJ is a big guy. Like he towers over me. I'm like, oh gosh, how are you going to get in here, sir?
The music in there was really cool.
Oh, I liked it. It was very space vibes. And I liked that they had while you're walking through the corridors, it looks like you're going through a spaceship and they have like windows that look like like outer space. So there's stars and they're kind of moving around. So that was
Mhm.
pretty cool. I really liked that ride. I also liked when we got on the People Mover, which I think we did next.
I
The
think we did Big Thunder Mountain next.
And we probably did.
Because I
But
remember thinking, oh, we're doing like 2 big roller coasters in a row.
probably. I don't remember. But when we did get on the People Mover, I like that it takes you through Space Mountain
Yeah.
and you hear everybody screaming while you're going in
Mhm.
there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Big Thunder Mountain, I think, might have been our longest line wait that day.
That took forever. But you
I
know
was
what?
afraid I was gonna get sunburned because so much of it was outside.
Outside in the sun. And then once we got in the little cabin area, it was so hot in there because it was just nothing but people. I felt like cattle being herded.
But I really liked Big Thunder Mountain, like, all the scenery that's built into it and, like, all the Old West stuff is super cool.
Hmm. I really liked that in the Big Thunder Mountain that it wasn't like I thought it was a lot shorter than what it was going to be, but then like it takes you through the back part of it too, and then you just
Mhm.
keep going. I was like, oh, this is a
There's, like,
lot
some
longer than I
indoor
thought it was going to be.
scenes
Hmm.
with the
I really,
I don't know if they're
yes,
stalactites or stalagmites, but they were really neat.
something, but it was pretty neat. I was like, hey, this is like actually a lot, like not better, but a lot more than I expected. So that was a lot of fun. I really liked that.
Mhm. And then we went to Tomorrowland
Yes.
and did
We did the
well, we
Buzz
had already
Lightyear.
been at Tomorrowland for Space Mountain, but then we left and went to Big Thunder Mountain
Mhm,
and then
and then
came
we
back
went
to
back,
Tomorrowland.
and then we did the Buzz Lightyear ride that's there, which
Which can
was
we talk about how they have 2 Toy Story themed rides that are just, like, shooting at targets?
yes. Also, this one you can tell was put in a
Older.
while back because this I could not shoot anything for the life of me in this ride. The targets are very small.
Well, I think something in the blasters might not have been working correctly because I heard someone say that they were supposed to have, like, some kind of feedback when you managed to hit something,
Okay.
but you can't it's so hard to aim because all you have is, like, the little laser light.
And the thing is that the laser doesn't stay on. It's like when you
Mhm.
shoot, when you push the trigger, that's when it flashes. And I'm like, well, I can't see where I'm shooting. So here I am, just trigger happy, just shooting. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. I think maybe only once I felt my gun vibrate, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe, like, once.
I did absolutely horrible. And then just
I won that
moving the
one somehow,
thing,
I don't know how.
I don't know, but also moving the seat, it just like jerks you like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, I forgot you have to move the seat yourself, and I feel like I was moving it most of the time, and I was like, "I'm so sorry." The way it just jerks us back and forth.
That was pretty that sure was an experience.
I mean, it was fun, though, the
It was
animatronics were
fun.
really neat,
I
and
liked that.
animatronic Buzz was fun. I
Yes.
liked seeing him, even though his face looks really weird.
That one was a lot of fun as far as the animatronics. It was a lot more to look at as opposed to just like screens. This
Mhm.
one was a lot of fun because it was like actual things popping up. So that was a lot of fun.
Um, I think the animatronic Buzzes, though, were some of the first times they ever did, like, that
Yeah, that's why he looked a little
projection
weird.
mapping stuff with the faces, and
Mhm.
you can kinda tell because it doesn't look super great. His face looks kinda weird.
Yeah, that one, he did look a little weird, but I mean, it looks pretty good for the technology of the time.
Mhm.
That one was pretty cool.
Zurg had a completely different voice, though.
Zurg sounded weird. I was like, okay, you sound like I don't even remember his name in Inspector Gadget, the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, that's not Zurg at all.
What I was wondering is if they started working on the ride, like,
Before the
either
movie?
before or while Toy Story 2 was in production and they didn't know what Zurg was gonna sound like yet.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. So, I mean,
I'm
I'm
kinda
not
surprised they never changed it, though.
yeah, I'm not too terribly like mad about it, but at the same time I was like, I don't like that voice.
I'm like, all they'd have to do though is get Andrew Stanton in there
I know.
and have him record a few lines.
I know. It's cheaper than getting a top name movie star. I mean, it's Andrew Stanton.
Yeah, but it was a fun ride.
It was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that ride. Also, when you're on the People Mover, there's a window and you can see the ride and people shooting stuff.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
After that, did we do the Monsters, Inc. Laugh floor?
Yes, that was a lot of fun. I liked that show.
Yeah, that was really neat. It's like an interactive comedy show with characters from Monsters, Inc. and then like some original characters who are controlled from backstage, I guess.
That was a lot of fun. I really liked that they kept bringing that poor guy back up for every joke.
And that lady, when he was doing like the mind reading trick.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I don't think she got it at first. She was like, what's going on?
I'm not
like,
sure if she ever got it.
I don't think so. I think she was more nervous that she was on the screen than the actual like show what's going on.
Yeah, so the character, I don't remember his name, but he was doing a mind reading trick with this lady in the audience, and he asked her to pick a number, and she said her number out loud instead of just keeping it in her head. And he was like, I need you to pick another number then. And she kept saying it out loud.
That was funny. I was like, lady,
and she didn't get
stop.
what the problem was. And then when she finally understood that she wasn't supposed to say it out loud, she kept it in her head. And then he was like, okay, tell everyone else in the audience. And instead of saying it out loud to the audience, she used her fingers. And the guy, I don't know, well, the character had his eyes closed. I guess the cast member backstage can usually just hear what they tell the audience. But because she was just holding up her fingers, he had no way of knowing what the number was. I'm assuming someone must have like gone back there and told him.
Yeah.
But he was like, did you tell the audience your number? And she was like, and everyone in the audience was like, yeah. And he was like, are you sure?
He was like, I didn't hear it.
It was so funny.
That was great. I was like, oh my gosh, these poor cast members are probably like, this happens every single show.
I think after that, what did we do after that?
I think we went towards the castle after that. I want to say it was getting close to the lunchtime hour. Oh, you know what we did next? We walked towards Haunted Mansion. That's what we did.
Oh, that's right.
That was fun. Honestly, okay, so you did not get on the Haunted Mansion ride, and I'm kind of glad you did not because we got stuck on it 3 times. So in the ride, of course, it's dark in there, and then they all shove you into a room with the whole like, oh, this room has no windows or doors, blah, blah, blah. They're doing something scary, and then they take you to the ride. The ride is one of those continuous rides, kind of like the Little Mermaid one, where it's just you get on the ride.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped while we were in line waiting. We're like, okay, so they fixed it and it started going again. We got on our ride. As soon as it started going into the actual mansion part, it stopped again. So I want to say about maybe 2 minutes later, they got it back going. It was going fine. And there's a part where the seat turns and drops you downward. So me and Nora are lying there because I got stuck right there. We're just like, are you kidding me? So we're just laying there. We're like, oh my gosh, we're stuck. And that's the part, the biggest room where they have like all of the zombie animatronics so you can hear them and like you see ghosts flying and you're just like, we're stuck in a haunted mansion. Oh my god. But after that, it moved, and the rest of the time, it was fine. But that was funny. I was like, really? And the worst part to get stuck, that's where we got stuck.
At least you weren't stuck for super long.
No, that one was like the shortest period that we waited. I want to say about a minute, and then it went again. But still, I was like, really? I feel bad for everybody else who's upside down like us.
Yeah, I didn't do Haunted Mansion because I'm pretty sure I've talked before on this podcast about like my childhood phobia of animatronics and stuff. And like the one thing that kind of I still don't like is like animatronic ghosts and zombies and like
Hmm.
that kind of scary Halloween stuff, even if it's not like really scary, it's still just like,
Unsettling.
yeah, I still
Yeah.
don't
So
like it. I don't even like going to like stores at Halloween and seeing all the
the
like
animatronics
the
there and stuff.
animatronic like decorations that they're selling and stuff. And
Right.
I was kind of like, oh, I kind of want to do it because they just did like the Muppets Haunted Mansion
Yeah,
thing.
there was no Muppet thing related to it.
Yeah, but I was like, I would maybe get more of the references and stuff in that movie. And I was like, and then but I decided not to do it. And then later we did Pirates of the Caribbean, and that has skeletons on it, and I was fine with that. Like, I loved that ride, so I
That
was like,
one was
maybe it would have been
fun.
fine, but
Well, I don't
I
know
don't know. Maybe I'll
because
try it next time.
maybe. I do want to warn you though that there are some of the animatronics that get close to the seats. So
Mm.
that part I was like, "Oh, Macy wouldn't like
Yeah, I
this at
don't know
all."
if I could have done that.
Yeah, no, because like there's some like headstones that move close to it, but then there was like a zombie that came and moved close. I was like, "Oh no, no,
Yeah,
don't."
no. So while you guys were doing that, the Hall of Presidents was right there, or pretty close by. So I went in there and waited like 15 or 20 minutes for the next show, and then it was like a 20-minute long show, and it's just like I don't think I'd ever do it again.
Right,
But
yeah.
it was a nice place to go and sit in the air conditioning for a while I was waiting for you guys, and
Mhm.
um seeing all the animatronics together, I guess, was kind of impressive.
Mhm. I feel like that would have been like, yeah, like you said, like it's nice to see it once, but then afterwards you're like, I don't need to get on that again, or I don't
Yeah,
need
I
to
don't
watch
need to
that
do
again.
that again.
Kind of like the It's a Small World ride that we got on shortly
Yeah,
thereafter.
yeah. Um, I enjoyed all the art style and all the little figures.
Mhm.
Some of them
But
were
this
not working.
no, some of them did not have any functionality anymore, so they're just standing there, just kind of like,
Or
help
there were
me.
some of them that were, like, moving in a weird way where I was like, "I'm not sure that's the way you're supposed to be moving."
That was kind of sad, but
I did take a lot of pictures on that ride,
that
though,
one
for
I
some
took.
reason, because there were a lot of, uh, little figures and animals and things that I thought were really
Yes,
cute.
that one I
And
did take the most pictures.
I took some videos of the broken animatronics.
That one was fun. I even to this day, I still have It's a Small World in my head.
Speaking of Disney songs that can get stuck in your head, we did, Pirates of the Caribbean that day too, which has the yo ho yo.
Oh yes, that one that gets stuck in your head while I was, getting ready for bed. I'm like, oh gosh, that's why I would put my music on in the shower. I'm sorry if you heard all my crazy music, but I was like, I
I
gotta
was
get
usually
these
listening
songs
to
out of my
my own
head.
stuff, so
Okay, good. I'm like, I deeply apologize for some of the songs that came out.
there was something messed up at the beginning of the Pirates ride, though, because I think, like, at the very beginning, as the boats are leaving where you get in, there's, like I don't know if it's a screen or, like, projection or something at the very top, and I think there's
Mhm.
supposed to be, like, some kind of animation up there, but all we saw was the cast member wearing a mask.
Oh, that's right. That was funny. I was like, are you quality control or is this
'Cause
supposed to
I'm
be a
pretty
part of the
sure
ride?
there's supposed to be something there. I mean, there's definitely not supposed to be a cast member sitting there.
No, for sure. That was funny because it was like he was just staring at you and you're just like, are you part of
Like,
the
I
ride?
don't think he realized that we could see him.
It's probably one of those like one-way mirrors or one-way windows, whatever you call them. Like
Mhm.
he probably thought like, "Oh, nobody can see me." I'm like, "Well, the good thing you weren't like picking your nose or something, dude, because we can see you clearly."
I loved the Pirates ride, though. It was
That one
so
was
all
a
the
lot of
scenes were
fun.
so pretty, especially, like, the cannonball scene
Oh, yeah, that was really
where the
cool. And then
ships are firing at each other.
it splashed us. I was like, I was
Yeah,
not expecting that.
and the auction scene in the town.
Oh, yeah. That was and then you get to see Jack hiding everywhere. That was fun. Um, what else did we do? We did the teacups.
Oh, yeah.
My teacups, finally, I did not fit in there. You can tell it's for
My
little
legs
kids.
didn't fit in there.
That Miyu and Nora got squished in one cup with all of our stuff because I bought like $80,000 worth of stuff. Oh my god, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the last thing we did was the Little Mermaid ride, and that had more
That
broken
was
animatronics on it.
yes, but I was so glad that Ursula wasn't broken.
Yes,
That was
she's
so
so
great.
cool.
Yes. Oh my
She's
gosh.
huge.
Oh my god, yes. I wasn't expecting her to be that big, but then it's like, well, to see it, for everybody to see it, she's right there.
Yeah. Um, but one of the aerial animatronics in the Under the Sea song wasn't moving. She was just standing
Oh
still.
my gosh, she looked like she was being held at gunpoint. Her little hands were up. She was just like nervously smiling, and I was like, "Who's hurting you?"
And then Sebastian in that same scene wasn't moving.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't moving either. He was singing, but he wasn't
Uh-huh.
moving.
And then there was some random fish, I think, too, that either wasn't moving or was moving wrong or
Weirdly, yeah.
something.
Kind of broke him. But I mean, what do you expect when they're running 24/7? Or
I
not
guess.
24/7, but like year round, constantly going. They are going to break down. But
Yeah.
I'm glad for the most part, all the rides we got on, there were not too many broken things or like anything that not me getting stuck on Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that, like, ruined the experience.
Right. No, I expected a few things like that. I expected, like a few delays. I expected things to be not working properly. So that did not ruin any experience for me. The only thing that would have really ruined it for me was the long waits. That was the only thing. But I mean, it was the 50th anniversary that we went, and it was Christmas time. So everybody, of
Yeah.
course, wants to go for those two things.
That was the last thing we did at Magic Kingdom.
Hmm.
And then the next day, our group of 4 I almost said floor. The next day, our group of 4 split up, and the 2 of us went to Epcot, and Nora and RJ went to Animal Kingdom
Hmm.
because we only had 3 days there, so all of us
Right.
couldn't do all the parks,
Which I'm glad we
unfortunately.
went to Epcot. I feel like that was way more enjoyable than going to Animal Kingdom. And I'm sorry for anybody who's like a diehard Animal Kingdom fan, but
I'm sure it
honestly,
would have been
Epcot was a
fun.
lot of fun. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, I wanna see World Showcase and the new Ratatouille ride and the Frozen ride.
I am so glad we got on that Ratatouille ride. That was a lot of fun.
The main problem was that we did those 2 rides one right after the other, and they're, like, on opposite sides of the World Showcase.
Yeah, that was pretty hardcore. We were walking, we were running, and I was like, why did we do that? Oh, you know what we did right in between both of those rides? We did
The 3 Caballeros.
yes, that one was fun. I liked that ride. And of course, like going inside the Mexico area, that was really pretty.
Yes. That was so cool.
That was a lot of fun. I liked that.
where it looks
And
like you're outside at night.
the little mercado area was really pretty. How they had all the little stands, all the little merch right there. That was really cute.
Mhm. But that was actually the end of our day.
That was the end of our. Well, then we went to the Frozen ride, and then that was the end of our day.
Yeah. But I think the first thing we did was it Spaceship Earth?
Yes, the first thing we did was Spaceship Earth, and that to me
The
was
Epcot ball.
fun. I love that giant ball. Uh, but that one was actually fun. I would probably get on that one again, even though it was just information and it was not anything like special. It's just
Yeah.
an informational ride. But at the end, I really liked the Earth and like the stars and everything. That was fun.
And then we did Living with the Land.
You know, as informational as that one was too, I actually really liked that one. I liked that it was another slow ride. It was cute. It was not anything exciting, quote unquote exciting. Some people might think plants are exciting. But that was nice because they also took you through the garden. That was a lot of fun. I liked the little garden.
That was kind of another one, though, that I was like, that was fun, but I don't need to do it again.
Oh, yeah, no. I probably would not do that one again unless I go with somebody who's never been and they want to get on it. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get on it. But that's not something like if I go back to Disney, I'm not going to be like, we got to do this again.
Yeah. I think after that, we did the Finding Nemo ride, didn't we?
I think, yes, we did. So right after that, we did the Finding Nemo ride. That one was fun.
After that, we did Turtle Talk with Crush.
That one was
which
cute.
It was more, it was kind of like the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, but more oriented toward kids.
And
it was a much smaller room.
Yeah, that one was more for kids, you could tell, because they were, you know, talking to the kids and asking them like very basic questions. It wasn't anything like, you know, in depth. It was still cute. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it was very like TVY rating.
It was a little bit awkward though, because we were the only adults there without kids. It seems like.
Every other adult had kids, and I was like, we're just here for the turtle talk.
Yeah, we were like, anything to do with Pixar, we're gonna do it. So
yes, but that was fun just to see it like as an experience. That was fun. Another experience that was great was right before we got on the Land of the Living ride was the Winnie the Pooh that was trapped in his enclosure.
Oh my gosh. So the way they're doing like character meet and greets right now is they're doing them like socially distanced.
Very socially distanced.
Yeah, we saw some characters like Minnie and I think we saw Belle that were just like standing behind a fence like 6 feet away, but you could still like talk to them and take selfies from kind of far away and like interact. But Winnie the Pooh was way out in the middle of the grass, like hundreds of feet away,
waving sadly. His little hat was kind of like flopped over one ear.
He was out there by himself. I was like, they could have put like another character out there with him or something, but no, he was just out there by himself. And like when I look at my pictures of it, he looks like a little speck out there in the grass.
Yeah, he looks so sad. Like something you'd see at a zoo, like just an animal doing whatever because they don't care about the crowd and they're just out in the wilderness. And you're like, look, I see them. But that was Pooh.
And he's just like waving at people from hundreds of feet away.
That was so great. Oh my gosh.
And then we did what's it called? Journey into, I know at one point it was called Journey into Imagination, and at another point it was called Journey into Your Imagination, but I don't remember which one it is now.
I don't remember either.
The ride with Figment.
That one was fun. I liked going through there, like all the little science-y lab stuff that they had, and then we got on the ride.
Mhm.
That one was actually really cute.
That one is apparently really controversial because of how it's been changed over the years, and a lot of people don't like it the way it is now.
Okay. I mean,
I mean, I've never
because I've
been on the
never
older
been
versions to be able to
exactly.
compare.
So I
So,
enjoyed it. That was fun to me. I was like, I don't care what anybody else says. This is my first time at Disney. I'm having fun.
yeah. So that was a fun ride, and then I think after that was when we went to World Showcase.
Yes, that was as much as I loved the World Showcase, that was so large. I did not realize how big it was.
Well, it didn't help that we kept, like, going back and forth
Oh
between
my,
areas of it that were, like, super far away.
that was horrible. I mean, it was not too horrible, but it was horrible for me because my feet were starting to hurt in my Converse. I was like, why did I wear these shoes? But my only other shoes had a high arch and those hurt even more.
So what did we do first at World Showcase?
I want to say, let's see, we walked around and I think I bought pens. I had a ton of
Oh,
pens.
yeah.
I bought a lot of pens.
Yeah, we ended up walking back and forth around World Showcase, the different areas.
I'd say we walked about 10 miles that day. That
Probably.
was a lot of miles. I was tired.
It was kind of our own fault because we kept choosing to do things that were, like, on the opposite side of where we were.
That was,
Um
yeah, I was like, why did we decide to do it this way? Honestly, we did not plan that day very well. That one was the one day that we didn't plan well. And
Yeah. We didn't follow Sheena's plan very well.
I didn't even have that on my
Yeah.
phone. I was like, we're just running amok. We're going to do whatever. And I don't care.
And then we had the lightning lane passes for certain times,
Oh, yeah.
so we
We
had to kinda
had
plan
that
around that
too.
too.
The Ratatouille ride was so much fun. That one, I was not expecting what it was, but I had a lot of fun on it.
I wasn't expecting to get wet on that ride,
I
but we
wasn't
got
either.
sprayed
And
with water from the mop.
that made me like so irked out because first of all, I'm a
Like, I
germaphobe, but I know it's not actual mop water, but to be
Yeah,
splashed with mop water was like gross.
yeah. And then there's the part where you're, like, hiding under something and Skinner's hand, like, comes
Oh my
through,
gosh,
and you're wearing
yes.
the 3D glasses, so it genuinely feels like his hand is really coming out at you, and I, like, jumped.
Yeah, I jumped too. I was like, oh no, you're not grabbing me today.
At World Showcase, I feel like mostly what we did was just go around to different shops,
Yes, that's all we did because I was like, I'm on a mission to find all these pens.
which it was still fun, though, seeing all the different, like, country pavilions.
That was
We just didn't
nice.
spend a lot of time individually at each one.
I feel like if we had more time, I would have spent like 2 days at
Mhm.
Epcot just to go through the whole World Showcase and look at everything.
Yeah. I feel like we spent most of the time in the UK pavilion
I think,
when we weren't
yeah,
just
no, we
walking
did.
around everywhere.
And we were going through shops, and then we stopped at that one area where the guy was playing the piano in the little park area.
Yeah, because my back was dying, and I was like, "I need to sit down."
Oh my gosh, that was nice though.
And then we already talked about Ratatouille ride because I think that
Yeah.
was one of the things we did after that.
Yeah, and then
And we
we
talked
talked about
about
the Three Caballeros.
yeah, and we didn't really talk about the Frozen ride yet, though.
That was fun. I was so glad we got the lightning lane for that because that one had a very long line.
It was like a 120-minute wait.
I think we only waited 15 minutes total.
Yeah, something like that.
It was very nice. And also, the ride was very nice. I enjoyed the Frozen ride. The only thing I did not enjoy was at the very end, my butt got wet.
When you go backwards down the hill.
Yes, and then you get splashed, and that was literally the only thing. I was like, how? I'm sitting. That was like the last ride we did, right?
We left like right after that.
Oh, we went to that store that was huge. That's where I found more pens.
Wasn't that at was that at Disney Springs or was that in
We
the
went
park?
to one at Epcot, and then we went to the bigger one at
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
Springs. That was crazy. So we did that. And then we waited for our lift. We went to Disney Springs where we met Nora.
We waited forever for our lift.
That poor little old people, too. The little old couple, they were like, they're not coming. I felt like they had been there longer than us. I felt so bad for them. But yeah, once we got there, we got to the hotel. We met up with Nora and RJ, and then we got a lift to Disney Springs. I feel like we could have just gone to a restaurant somewhere and then went back to the hotel and been fine because Disney Springs was
A
horrible.
lot.
It was nice to go to, like it was fun, but it was so crowded there. It was so packed, and everywhere was just so busy, full of people. Like we didn't even eat there. We just went back to the hotel restaurant.
We went to the big World of Disney store. We went to the Harley Davidson store.
Oh, that's right, we did.
That was the end of our trip. We flew back the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad we got to do this.
I know,
Both
me too.
The trip and this recording.
Exactly. And I'm glad that whoever is listening, that you got to experience it vicariously through us.
I'm going to have to cut out like at least 45 minutes of this.
Yeah, it's already at 140, almost 144.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you feel like we maybe left parts out, that's because I had to cut it down quite a bit. It's been like an
Yes.
hour and 45 minutes since we started recording.
Oh my gosh. But we had fun.
Yes.
I hope you had fun listening.
I hope we didn't bore you too much. I hope we didn't make you outraged getting things wrong or not remembering things about the park.
Yeah, we're pretty bad at that. We're like, you know what? It just went by so fast. It was only 3 days. You can't blame us.
And we're Disney noobs.
You know what?
We don't know
Yes.
anything.
They should know by now that I'm oblivious to everything, so you can't really get mad at me. Oh gosh, but yeah, I would definitely do it again. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I want to go again someday.
Soon, yeah, but not too soon because it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we did. Everything else is just a blur.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts and send us an email if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns. And if you enjoy the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.
Bye.